although I could do sport taekwondo very well, I did not know how to fight. That's what thank God I learned that at an early age. Around age 17, I was like, I saw some black belts get cut up on the street, and I was like, I do not know how to fight. And I think I fought some guy in there that eventually like grabbed me and threw me on the ground. And I was like, what the hell is this? And he's like, wow, you don't know like, 10th grade varsity wrestling. And I was like, no, I
Yeah.
don't. And that's
Yeah.
when actually one of the reasons I wanted to switch was I met this guy who I went to UVA with who was into he introduced me to this book, The Tao of Health, Sex, and Longevity by Daniel P. Reed. And I read that book and I instantly became a vegetarian. I was interested in meditation. Um, and I was looking for, guidance into this whole new way of health, essentially. And that was sort of the time I'd kind of like I was moving away from karate, taekwondo, and I met you. And
Yep.
we had some conversations, and I told you a little bit of what I knew about the meditation, and you basically said, "All right, kid, you don't know what you're doing, but I do." Something to that effect. And I started training under you, at that point.
Well, that was one of my and Jim, your former instructor, put one of the things that broke us up, and there were several things, was that I would, and again, I was, preaching what I had learned, because I had been just like you, been in a really fight club, like
Right.
very serious, and there, we went to the ground and all kinds of stuff. So these guys were kind of killer people that I used to. In fact, I began to meet people who you could tell would, either they had committed murder
Okay.
in combat or murder level violence, and
Right.
you could feel it on them. You could just feel
Right.
it. And I
Yeah.
started to get creeped out when I got to China. They condemned that. They just went, you don't need that. That's bad for your health. You
Right.
do the forms. The forms have this sort of proactive health, proactive effect. That's really what you need to focus on. So once I learned the real deal, I was like, yeah, I converted. So when I came back, I would say, I would tell audiences, I would say, the way Americans have learned martial arts is wrong. And it's actually harmful for you to learn the way we've been trained. You need to learn how to take care of your body, and then you learn how to fight slowly and carefully instead of like being thrown into, some sort of like WWE
Right. Yeah, sure.
mosh pit, to have to fight people. Now I don't know this, I mean, the reality is if you want to fight and you have to fight, you're going to have to do the kind of things that that wrestler guy taught you. You're going to have to know that if you want to
Yeah.
play in that sandbox. But anyway, Jim came up to me and he goes, "John, quit saying that martial arts hurts people. You're hurting my business." And I kind of went, "Okay, I won't do it." But at the same time, I was like, "Ha ha,
Right.
too bad." And it really did end badly for him. And I've
Yeah.
known he is
Yeah.
not the only one. I have met so many martial artists, and usually they have like a 5-year arc where they start out and things are great. And when they hit the fifth year, things start to go wacky for them. And it's rare that you can find a martial arts studio that will go beyond 7 years, 7, 8 years.
I
Um,
want to, what? There's one quick point I want to make. I have a client named Mr. Pike. He's 80 years old, and he actually ran about 7 or 8 Taekwondo studios in Pennsylvania. And now his nephews are running them. And essentially what he told me was that the money is with the kids. Like if you're good at training from first grade to, pre-high
yeah,
school, that's where you can make the money. If you start effing around with, adults that want to learn how to fight, it
yeah.
can get dark really
Yes,
quick.
it turns dark fast. Good.